declared a state of emergency after Hezbollah has launched dozens of rockets at Israeli military bases in response to an aerial assault campaign on Lebanon. All right, joining me at this point of time is my colleague Brian. Brian, right now Israel has in fact launched a war, and it has in fact declared special home front situation, which is a state of emergency throughout the Israel until September 30th.
Definitely, now the Israeli government approved Defense Minister Yoav Gallant's proposal to declare a nationwide special state of emergency for the home front lasting till September 30. Now, this decision made urgently through a phone vote followed an attempted assassination also of a senior Hezbollah leader, Ali Karaki, in Beirut's Dahieh district. Now, while the declaration doesn't immediately affect civilians, but it grants the IDF also and state agencies greater flexibility to make rapid decisions during the ongoing conflict. Even on the battlefield as well, Israeli strikes killed more than 270 Lebanese. That happened on September 23rd, marking the deadliest assault since the 2006 Israel-Hezbollah war. Now, the Israel military had also previously warned residents in southern and eastern Lebanon to evacuate ahead of an expanded air campaign against Hezbollah, and even in a video message also, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also urged Lebanese civilians to take these warnings very seriously, stating that it is on quote that he says that please get out of the harm's way now, and once their operation is finished, they can come back to their homes as well. So this is what Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said, and even now a state of emergency has also been declared. Simran.
All right, Brian, thank you for sharing the details. Now, also viewers, joining me at this point of time is Colonel J.S. Sodhi, who is an international affairs expert, joining us in the broadcast. So, thank you for speaking to Newsx, and appreciate you joining me right now. What exactly do you make of this especially conflict that's even brewing? Because, you know, till September 30th, it is going to be very critical, and all eyes will be on the developments, because the Israeli government has in fact now announced a nationwide state of emergency. Now it is in fact the special home front situation that has been voted by the cabinet ministers in Israel, and the vote was done through phone. What is next as per your understanding of how the situation is going to be making sense for the two nations at war?
Jen, it's my honor to be on a esteemed channel. Last month on 6th August, the Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant had said in a statement that Israel will have to be prepared for a seven-front war. With Israel attacking Lebanon yesterday at multiple targets, Benjamin Netanyahu has shown his firm resolve that come what may, whatever be the international or the domestic pressures, he is going ahead and will wage a war on anyone who's waging a war on Israel. With this attack of Israel on Lebanon yesterday, clearly now the war which was limited between Hamas and Israel will now escalate into a regional war. And though the Israel is very well prepared because it knows it has the full backing of America, the point to be seen is that will the other two superpowers, Russia and China, to jump in this war and openly help the others like Hezbollah and the Hamas, or will they remain in the shadows? Whatever be the reason, the fact remains that what was outlined on 21st September this month in Delaware during the 4th Quad Summit, that the only way to peace in Middle East is through a two-nation solution. And it is time that Israel sits with Palestine across the discussion table and negotiates for a two-state solution. Because this attack and counter-attack has been happening since 14th May 1948, when Israel declared its unilateral independence. Since then, we have seen multiple wars, numerous conflicts happening, dead bodies being there every other day, blasts happening, conflicts happening. The time now is for peace, because as we speak today, out of the 8.1 billion global population, 2 billion are in war and conflicts. So it is time that the three superpowers, America, Russia and China, enter this war officially to end it and not to escalate it.
All right, Mr. Colonel J.S. Sodhi there has made some sense and put this in perspective, or as the war between Israel and Hezbollah only intensifies. According to the Pentagon, the U.S. is sending additional troops to the Middle East in response to a sharp spike in the violence between Israel and Hezbollah forces in Lebanon that has raised the risk of a greater regional war. The new deployment has come after significant strikes by Israeli forces against targets inside Lebanon that have killed hundreds. And as Israel is preparing to conduct further operations, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has warned Lebanese civilians in a videotaped message to evacuate their homes ahead of further airstrikes. He also spoke as Israeli warplanes continued to strike alleged Hezbollah targets in the southern and the eastern Lebanon, viewers. And right now, there is an emergency situation until the September 30th in Israel, as amid its escalating strikes on Lebanon and anticipated expansion of Hezbollah rockets firing towards Israel. Joining me on the broadcast is my colleague Brian. Brian, all right, while we try to restore the connection, it is important to understand that this declaration by Israel comes following an Israeli army assassination attempt against Ali Karaki, a top Hezbollah military commander, viewers. An Israeli army radio had earlier quoted, in fact, as well, that sources that airstrikes on a southern suburb of Beirut had targeted Karaki. No further details on this fate were forthcoming. All right, viewers, I'll get my guest on the panel back. Colonel J.S. Sodhi joins me back at this point of time. Sir, as you were correctly mentioning, now it is the Pentagon that has now decided that the US is going to send additional troops to the war front situation that's brewing, and to the Middle East. This is now in the response of the spike that in the violence between Israel and Hezbollah. And by additional troops, what they exactly mean is an attempt, of course, to try and pacify the situation on ground, because more and more civilians are being killed with each passing day.
You have rightly brought out the fact that Pentagon has sent additional troops to the Middle East clearly shows that USA doesn't want this war to escalate into a regional war. And by sending additional reinforcements there in that area, USA is also sending a message to Russia and China that they should not jump into the war to help aggravate the war. But we have seen in the past that whenever America could have exerted pressure on Israel to bring this war to an end and avoid a regional war, which we all are staring at, which actually has happened with these multiple strikes on Lebanon since yesterday, the fact remains that America isn't deeply interested in ending this war, because out of the world's 10 biggest arms industries, 6 are located in USA. So in any war or conflict the world over, it is America who makes money. Their economy is basically a war-driven economy. In fact, since America got independence in 1776, USA has directly or indirectly taken part in 201 wars or conflicts worldwide. So this time too, though they could have played the major role of a world peacemaker, they have done exactly the opposite, like they've been doing in the past. I think we are staring at a much wider regional war until unless some sense comes in Russia, America and China to avoid the escalation of this conflict.
All right, Colonel J.S. Sodhi there has in fact put this into perspective and now also broke it down for the benefit of the